There have been many civilizations throughout time, in Mesopotamia, Egypt, ancient China, Greece, the Romans, the Incans, etc. Although all these civilizations contain their own unique cultures and way of life, they all share one thing in common: good geography, which meant they had favourable geographic conditions for civilizations, and larger social hierarchies formed. More advanced welfare arose, which causes civilizations to expand into empires and interact with other human cultures. So the question is, why did this not occur in Australia? Ultimately, Australia is a land that just so happened to be very unlucky, as it did not have the suitable conditions for civilizations to appear, and ultimately, the Aboriginals living there remained as hunter-gatherers. You may say, but Australia has temperate climates in the southeast, and has rivers such as the Murray and Darling. This is true, however these rivers were incapable of supporting large-scale civilization due to the non-existence of native crops and animals which could be domesticated. In Eurasia, there were cows, sheep, horses, as well as wheat and rice in Asia. The Americas, although only containing llamas in South America as animals, contained corn which could support civilizations. Australia had very little of this, and the best hand given to the people there was some native yams and millet, which some Aboriginals practiced what is called proto-farming. However, this was never enough to reach civilizations in that of Mesopotamia or China. Animals such as kangaroos and emus are impossible to domesticate, and the absence of suitable domesticatable animals left the indigenous population vulnerable to diseases of the Old World, very similar to what happened to the Native Americans. It should be pointed out that much of Europe did not possess domesticatable crops either. However, these could come from the Middle East, as its proximity allowed for contact to be made with existing civilizations who possessed more advanced technology. This led to the rise of ancient Greece and ancient Rome to develop, which their conquests led to the rest of Europe adapting to advanced technology, and ultimately various states formed, which led to competition and led to rapid advancement across the continent. Australia's isolation meant that it was unable to access the more advanced technology from the outside world, apart from very minor interactions in the north with people in present-day Indonesia and Papua New Guinea. Its people would not interact with the outside world until European interactions and colonisation. Even today, Australia's farming only consists of crops and animals that were brought in by Europeans. The lack of advanced civilizations and empires in Australia had nothing to do with race, and instead was a result of drawing a very unlucky card in the conditions for civilizations. Geography, isolation, and the lack of crops that could be domesticated or animals that could be domesticated made it impossible for civilizations to flourish in Australia. Thanks for listening.